Hi, and welcome to Chef Maxwell's Kitchen, where every month we get a chance to play with some really wonderful food. It's wonderful because it's Virginia grown. This month we're playing with sweet potatoes and corn. Wonderful Virginia products. And I'm going to take some sweet potatoes that I cooked. Right? I cooked them in a jacket because it cooks a little faster and better that way and holds its color. But if you wanted to use canned sweet potato here, you certainly could. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in here. All right? And this is creamed corn. And you can use a can of cream corn if you'd like, or you can make it yourself if you feel like doing that. Just mixing those together. Got a little ginger here. I'm going to add ginger. Right. Some chives. Right. And some all-purpose flour. Now, I use all-purpose flour in this recipe because it's a pretty standard mix of baking powder, and it works really well here. Some cakes I don't like to use all-purpose flour because I don't get a chance to control the chemicals that are in it, but this works really nice. Mix this around. Now, I'm going to add milk to this to get it to the right texture and consistency. And the recipe calls for a specific amount of milk, but that's going to depend on the texture of the flour, the amount of moisture that's in the sweet potato. So add the milk last and add it only till you get the right consistency. So I'm going to add a little bit here. And it's probably going to take about a quarter cup for that recipe that's listed. But we'll see. All right. All right. So that's pretty good texture right there. That's what we're looking for. It's pasty, thick, kind of drops off the spoon in a clump. All right. That's what we're going to look for there. I'm going to set this aside. All right. And now I'm bringing my egg whites on here. And this is one egg white. I've got an egg yolk over here that's going to go into this when I add the egg white. So I'm just going to whisk this until the egg white is nice and stiff. Doesn't take very long. Takes about 3 minutes. As soon as it starts to work, we're going to cut away from this so you don't sit here and watch me just whisk egg whites for 3 minutes. When you see how it's starting to tighten up, it won't take very long to do that. You could use your electric mixer. The problem is the electric mixer makes too much noise for us to do it on the set. So the camera people make me do this by hand. And we'll be back in just a minute after I get them to take their turn in the bowl. Okay, I've got this fairly thick now. It's as thick as I want it to be. You can get it a lot thicker. You can get it to stiff peak if you want. It won't hurt. But I think that's going to work for us nicely. Still holds its shape. So I'm going to add my egg yolk in here. All right. And I'm going to add a little bit of rum, because rum and sweet potatoes is a great combination. All right. Mix this around. All right. And now I'm going to fold in my egg whites. But I'm going to turn this on first. I'm going to fold the egg white in here. And you fold by just kind of turning everything nice and gently so you don't knock the air out of the egg whites. The purpose of that is so that it's a nice, light, fluffy consistency to your batter. All right, so that's where we want to go. Got this working. I'm just going to spray a little bit of vegetable spray here. You could use butter if you want. Use bacon fat, lard. Bacon fat's particularly good. And looking for make sure it's hot. And in goes a couple of these. And these are delicious, by the way. You're going to love them. They're relatively easy to make, especially if you use an electric mixer to whip your egg white, and they go really, really, really good at breakfast time with some bacon. All right, so we're going to let this cook for a little bit, and we'll be back. All right, you want to cook them on one side until they're nice golden brown. This one cooked a little longer than it should. Right? I'm going to turn this one over. Right? But these are nice, and you can tell by feeling them. When the egg begins to set up and it gets a little firm, that's when you want to turn them over. All right, so let me get a plate up here. All right, and we're going to take these down. All right, and just kind of line them up here. Let me turn this off. All right. Line these up down the end. It only takes a couple of minutes in order to be able to get these done. All right. There we've got sweet potato pancakes. Right? They're fritters. A fritter is anything wrapped in flour or mixed with flour that's fried or griddled. So these are sweet potato and corn fritters, but they look like pancakes to me, and with a couple of rashers of bacon on top, it's a perfect breakfast. We'll see you next time when we get a chance to play with Virginia food again. For more delicious recipes using Virginia-grown fruits and vegetables, contact Lisa Lloyd at the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services at 102 Governor Street, Richmond, Virginia, 23219.